Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Penovich here on a Wednesday. We're heading into the Labor Day weekend. Today is the meteorological end of summer, which, if you're not familiar with this, I preach this all the time. For weather and climate, we only keep data for the full 3 months of summer, June, July, August. When September 1st hits, it's technically autumn. I know everyone for years on their calendar, has astronomical seasons, but for weather and climate, we've never used astronomical seasons. So for all intents and purposes, for record keeping, climate data, temperatures, rainfall, all that, today's the last day of summer, and tomorrow is the beginning of autumn. Now, as we know, especially in the Carolinas, doesn't mean this end of summer weather. In fact, it's the beginning of the peak of the hurricane season. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, because our weather's relatively quiet. We just had a big cold front move through with some dry air. But out in the tropics, things are getting a little more active after what is going to be historically one of the quietest months we have had in the month of August on record. I think this is going to be one of only 3 months on record that there has not been a named storm in the month of August. I do not expect one to form before midnight tonight, but we do have 3 areas of concern out there. One off the African coast, one east of Bermuda, and this one right here. So a lot of folks heading to the beaches this weekend immediately going, uh-oh, Brad, do I need to worry about these systems here? You do not. That is not a concern. That is not a concern. That is not a concern. None of these will directly affect the U.S. They are all going to recurve, but there could be some high surf or rip currents because this thing recurving off the coast definitely will produce probably some pretty good rip currents depending on how strong it is off the coast. So let's real quickly show up some of the forecast models here just to show you spaghetti plots all having recurvature. So why is it going to recurve? Well, pretty good reason. Same reason we just had a cold front come through. We've got a trough of low pressure digging in over the eastern U.S. The Bermuda high is right here. So the flow is like this around the trough and the high pressure system. So there's only one avenue for it to go, this direction. And that's where all the ensembles take this system. There's a close-up view of it. Hurricane hunters kind of checked it out. Not a lot going on there. It's an open wave still, which means it doesn't have a closed circulation. So you can see there's a blow-up of convection or thunderstorms today. Really probably going to see this continue to move to the north and west and eventually develop. If we look at some of the ensemble plots, this is the GFS ensembles. You can see all of them recurvature. That's Bermuda. Even Bermuda could miss out on this because it looks like it's starting to recurve east of Bermuda. There's the Outer Banks and the western part of the screen there, or the left side of the screen. So none of the tracks take it towards the United States. In fact, I love this product. This is what we call the super ensemble. So it takes the European, the UK Met, and the GFS and puts all of their ensemble members together, and we can kind of show you what this does over time. Look at all of those simulations pushing to the northwest, starting to take that turn. You can see actually it looks like the deterministic UK Met kind of fizzles it out, while the GFS and the European all kind of recurve it off to the northeast. And that's pretty consistent. When you see all of the ensemble members go in this direction, that's a pretty good sign. I know there's one rogue one there, but that's one out of a couple hundred ensemble members. So really not that big of a deal. The fact that it's turning to the north and east and will be no threat to the United States. So good news for everybody heading to the beaches this weekend for that final, maybe unofficial end of summer, which is Labor Day weekend. Not expecting any major impacts from weather. In fact, if we zoom in on the United States, this cold front has brought much drier air. This summer in the Carolinas has been pretty hot and humid, and this weekend will feel like summer. We're going to see temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with just an afternoon pop-up shower or thunderstorm. But the good news, at least through Labor Day weekend and early next week, no threat from tropical systems.